am a Pete Primeau fan.
Thank you for having me.
Your fans are like...
What an honor to be here, Pete. You're a legend. You're a rock star.
I'm a legend in my own mind, said my wife.
If I can do it, anybody can do it.
I'm Mr. Selling from the Heart. What's this guy, Larry Levine, going to teach me about selling from the heart?
You are one of the most generous and authentic people around. And I think that's why you and your show are so attractive to people.
Welcome to the Pete Primeau Show. It is episode 263, and I'm here with my friend Mark Hunter. We're going to talk about his new book, Integrity First Selling. And if you have any questions, we are live. Ask Mark while we have him on the show. Let's pay the bills real quick. If you haven't bought my book, Sell a Million, I don't know what you're waiting for. One of the best compliments I ever got on this book was from my good friend, Doug Stewart. And he said, take the word furniture and mattress out of the book. It's just a great marketing and great business book. If you want a sales book, whoa, knocking my mic all over the place. If you want a sales book, I've got a sales book for you. Just finished this at the beginning of last year. Miles and miles of retail selling greatness. Over 44 years of experience on my part. But then I asked myself a question that maybe I should have never asked. And that is, what's changed and who can I bring in to help the reader really get a great sales book that will help everybody sell more at retail? So I enlisted the help of Jeff Giannakovo, Chris Tahaney, Brent Batterman. I know this is like a who's who in our industry. Justin Trombo, Steve Carnes, Mark Klingenberg, Scott Vaughn, Randy Thompson, Mel Opp, and Keith Cassinguy all wrote chapters in this book. And my dear friend Chris Tahaney and Brent Batterman wrote 2. They didn't stop at just 1 chapter. So grab that. It's literally 3 years worth of sales meetings. So if you have to do a Saturday morning sales meeting and sometimes you're at a loss of what to do, grab this book. I think it's $19.99, something like that on Amazon. And you've got 3 years worth of sales meetings right in your hands. So if you guys have not joined the Mattress Industry Network group, please do. They sponsor the show. Thank you for your support. Steve and Greg, we appreciate what you do. If you want to learn how to build, market, sell, and succeed in the mattress industry, this is the place to be. It's a free Facebook group. Hit that QR code that Chris is about to flash up there on the screen and join us, because you are going to learn all kinds of stuff. It's 100% free and everybody's in here. So from other store owners in other parts of the country to sales pros that work the retail floor, to sales reps, to VPs of sales, to owners of manufacturing companies, they're all in here. So it's a great place for you to be. And I think we have one more, Chris. Yeah, my dear friend Chris Tahaney is writing a great book. It's about how we change people's lives in the mattress industry. So if you have a story about how you change someone's life and you're a sales pro at retail, or you're a store owner and maybe you have a sales pro who's shy, but you know they changed the customer's life for the better, send the story to Chris at mattressrsastories@gmail.com. Chris will polish it up. You don't have to be a great writer. Chris is a great writer, by the way. And you know, spread the knowledge and spread the wealth, because this is a great book that Chris is in the process of writing. Let's help elevate the industry and help people wake up happy and pain-free and help people live longer. So There's no downside, just upsides. Again, mattressrsastories@gmail.com. Just email it to Chris. If you have any questions, Chris is not too hard to find in the Mattress Industry Network group. And if you want to reach out to me, my cell is 419-560-3169. And my email is pete@peteprimeau.com. And I'm happy to put you in touch with Chris. One more, and we will get to our friend Mark Hunter. MRT Toolkit. This is Jeff Janakovo's great group. And guys, gals, I think it's something just silly, like $99 a month, $97 a month. There's so many great tools, great events that he puts on, trainings every month. I mean, he should literally be charging $4.99 to $5.99 a month for this. And he's literally giving it away just as a way of saying thank you. Hit that QR code and you'll get the absolute lowest price for MRT. I think you still get the first month for free. I'm in the group and everybody I practically know is in that group. So it's a great group. You should join it. Is there anything else, or can I start talking to Mark? Mark, welcome.
Thank you for having me. Well, I tell you what, you do such great work in the space that it's absolutely fantastic. So thank you for all you do.
You are too kind, Mark. So I have to start this whole thing off with a confession. I almost didn't read the foreword, but I noticed the foreword was written by a dear friend of mine that I just love, Mike Weinberg. And I'm going to read a few things. I hope they don't embarrass you. And Mark is the sweetest, most humble guy you'll ever meet in the world. And Mike is blunt. He is very blunt. So the fact that you got so much out of Mike in this forward was amazing to me. And it helped me have a better experience with the book. So I just want to read this real quick. A massive part of what I love and respect about Mark is that with him, what you see, hear, and read is what you get. And I can second that. And what he has given us in Integrity First Selling is exactly what we all most need, the truth. The truth is that who we are and how we sell, living and selling with integrity, are exponentially more critical to our long-term success than any other factors. In my more than 3 decades in sales, no truth has become more obvious than this one. The world's very best salespeople put integrity first. Top sellers are motivated to make their customers as successful as possible, putting the customer's best interest above their own. Now, this is the part, everybody, because at least a few of you are going to walk away with free autographed books from Mark Hunter. How do you get one? You make a comment in the chat wherever you are, whether it's on YouTube. You make a comment and you say, please send me Mark's book. And my producer will randomly select a comment at the beginning, during the middle, and then at the end of the show. This is the one big ask that Mike made in his foreword that I listen to and I adhere to. I have one big ask of you as you prepare to dive into this invaluable book. Put your defenses down. Take a deep breath. Open your heart, mind, eyes, ears, and check your ego. Mark is going to challenge you. Look deep into a mirror and ask penetrating questions about yourself. Do the work. Don't blow by or blow off his challenges. He's got your best interests and your long-term success at heart. I would have blown off the exercises if Mike hadn't said that. And I did them. And I got to tell you something. I found I almost didn't read the book. The only reason I read it, Mark, is because it was written by you. And there's only two other guys, Jeb Blount. Well, three, Jeb, Mike, and Anthony. Those are the other guys that I would read anything they write. But because you wrote this, I read it because I sell with integrity. Now, as I went through and I answered some of your questions early in my career, there are instances where I didn't. And it bit me hard and it hurt. And it hurts for me to even look back and understand that there was a time where I sold for a commission very early in my career. And I almost thought, Mark, that there's Pete Primeau, the salesperson, and Pete Primeau, the human being. And I didn't understand that you cannot make those into two different things. There's one human being, and he or she has to bring their authentic self to the sales process. It's the only way you're going to have success. Hey, Patrick Tinney. Thank you, Patrick Tinney, for being here. Gordon Heck. I love to read, and this book looks like a winner. Please send me a copy. All right. There's our first winner, Chris. Was there another comment in there, Chris? Squirrel. Okay, just Patrick. Just Patrick, my friend that wrote 4 great sales books and regularly shows up and supports the show. So thank you for all you do. And anybody that wants a platform to really delve into negotiation skills, Sales Gorilla, I think that's something everybody should take a hard look at. And that's a place where we often fall down. So, Mark, I'm doing all the talking and I'm not giving you a chance to talk. So you really address this thing head on, but I came to my own realization. You do a lot of training, Mark. I mean, a lot. And you're a leader in this sales training industry. How often do you see this, especially with younger salesperson, that there's this persona and then there's this authentic and they're not operating together?
Way too often. Yeah. I got to back up the bus for a bit. First of all, Patrick Tinney, great guy. He's written some great content, great books. Got to read his books.
Yeah.
Shout out to him. I got to back up the bus because the book Integrity First Selling has been an idea in my mind for several years. And I couldn't write it because I wasn't sure if I was doing everything with integrity. And it really called out to me because I share in the book a story early on in my career where I had a customer. And I went in and I was selling him kind of a closeout item. And he jumped on it with a massive order. And it was too big of an order for the account. It was really too big of an order. And I'm like, oh, do I stop him? Do I? And I get back to the office and I, enter the order in the system and man, I'm like a hero. I feel so, it's like, wow, I've been elevated. But you know what? Several years later, that customer was still trying to liquidate that inventory. I didn't do them a favor. I did not do them a favor. So when you talk about, early on in my career, I can point to a number of instances where I did things not with integrity. But here's something I found. It is amazing how when we do things with integrity, we attract people who have integrity. Pete, you know this very well, right? You have seen this time and time again, that it is amazing how we attract the type of customers who we are. And that to me is right there one of the biggest reasons why selling with integrity is so key. Here's why. Selling with integrity is not about being allowed to be taken advantage of. No, wrong. It's about dealing with the customer the way they want to be dealt with. And you know what happens? you wind up with better customers, better margins, better sales, better referrals, better repeat. You just wind up with a better life. And oh, by the way, you sleep much better on that great mattress that you have because because you haven't taken anybody to the cleaners. And this is the challenge. I mean, the fact that we're even talking about integrity is really a shame, right? Really, isn't it like air and water? I mean, it should be so basic. And yet, unfortunately, not just the sales community, but society in general, we've allowed ourselves to fall so low that suddenly when you sell with integrity, you really stand out. I mean, you really do stand out. And to me, that's some of the best marketing anyone can do.
Absolutely. So I'm going to take you to chapter 2. I love this. AI equals authentic integrity. I love that. What was the inspiration for that?
Well, because of the simple fact that AI is taking over everything. And this is what kind of prompted me say, okay, I got to get this book written, because AI is a tsunami that is overtaking everything. And, how many emails a day do you get from just pathetic salespeople trying to sell you something? It just goes on and on and on and on. And my whole belief is that, as AI bots come around, hey, we can create this AI bot so you, the salesperson, don't even have to be involved. Hold it. I don't want that world. I want that world. I use AI all the time. I'm on AI all the time, helping me gain information. I'm having conversations with my AI bot. I love doing that, but it's not controlling me. It's helping me. And this is the key thing. So I really believe that A has to be authentic. We can't allow our voice to be taken out of the equation. And when I mean our voice, that's our personality. That's our morals, our values, our standards. That's who we are. You cannot take that out of the relationship. Because if you do, you have broken everything down. And now what happens is the salesperson is just a commodity. And the customer is going to treat you as a commodity. They are going to treat you as a commodity. And what does that mean? That means price becomes everything. Because I have an expression I love to use. In the absence of trust, low price is everything. In the absence of trust, low price is everything. And if we don't establish trust with our customers, why should we expect to get anything other than the lowest price out there? And it's why I say trust is the currency of business. It really is. It's the currency of business.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. And, Patrick Tinney says, I once signaled to a customer not to buy my product. My boss was pushing to close. Took me about 20 minutes to get this message across. I slept like a baby. My boss was pissed. Hey, always choose to sleep like a baby and live to fight another day with your integrity in check instead of trying to please a boss. I've thrown my body in front of multiple bosses. Brent Betterman, AI can never replace our passion and heart. 100%.
Yes.
Humans need humans. We still need each other. Patrick Tinney, Mark, your voice is who you are. This is my fear about AI, creativity, and video books. Yeah, it's really interesting that, some people are better at spotting AI than others, but everybody is doing it. And the second you figure out it's AI, it's going in the garbage, unless it's just like some funny thing. But if it's serious, if it's in a serious sales proposal, you just got yourself chucked out for no reason. That's what you did. You got put in the circular basket.
Oh, so true on that. Now, okay, this morning I had a client who reached out to me and they had a couple questions on a couple of different things. So he asked me to get back to him. Great. great. I went out to AI. I went out to AI and I had a conversation with my AI bot just to make sure that I'm not missing something. And it was a great conversation. And it gave me some insights, gave me some thoughts, and it allowed me to craft a better response back to this customer. And in fact, I'll be meeting with them later on in the week, and I'll be able to share some of those insights. Now, is AI controlling it? No, but AI is contributing to it. It's no different than us going in and doing a research the old-fashioned way. Let's go to Google and find a website and go read this article, go take a look at that. That's no different. It just allows us to do it faster. But what it allows me to do is it allows me to be in a more intellectual position. But I'll tell you what, here's what I found about any AI tool. It'll always give you an answer. Now, whether or not it's the right answer, that's a whole nother story.
Or a truthful answer.
Oh,
AI will lie. It
Oh,
will lie.
It will, because it doesn't, and it's not doing it intentionally. It doesn't know any different. It does not, because all it's doing is going off based off all the information out there in the cloud. That's all it is. But this is where we come in our human personality and who we are. Nobody knows us the way we know, the way we know us. And if you think about it, this is what customers are looking for. Customers are turned off to sales because they've just been used and abused. They're tired. So when we can come along and create an authentic, genuine relationship with the customer, it is amazing at what will happen. This is why I say, sales is not a job. Sales is not even a profession. Sales is a lifestyle. Now stop and think about that. Sales is a lifestyle because we're putting the customer first. It's not about what we sell. What we sell is purely the medium that we use to be able to develop the relationships and have the conversation with our customers.
I love what you put in the back of that chapter. In case anybody's confused, this will eliminate all of that. AI is not an enemy. Rather, I will view it for the benefits it offers, for what it is. And one of the things that I loved about your book, your book could have also been called, it could have been called Start with Integrity, because you urge us to look at our sales process from the very beginning and make sure that we check one box going forward. And that box is this done with integrity for the benefit of my potential customer? Right. All the way through, from how we research to how we qualify, to how we ask questions, to how we do any part of it. It all needs to be done with integrity. And that I literally started like yelling in my living room. My wife's, what's going on? It seems like it's good. Like she thought we won the lottery or something. You'd have to play the lottery to win it. So I can't. But Mark, that was so powerful when you did that. Yes, Patrick Tinney, that is, Mark has been saying this for years. Sales is a lifestyle, Mark. This asks, am I living my brand? Yes.
I want to stop right there for a second, because it makes it so easy. When you're living your brand, it makes every conversation you have so easy. Because again, when we are in situations that are outside of our comfort zone, we get stressed. And when we get stressed, it brings our energy level down. It confuses our mind. We're not able to think clearly and so forth. But when we're in our element, when we're absolutely comfortable, it is amazing at how much better our decisions are that we make. It's much better how we ask better questions. And most important of all, how much better we listen. It is amazing because we're in a relaxed state. And it also increases our level of energy, our ability to serve the customer. And so there is not one detriment to saying why you should not be selling with integrity. I can't find one reason not to, unless you're really trying to screw the customer. And if you are, you're not listening to this podcast. So, I'm not worried about it.
This is our Patrick Tinney again. Patrick, I guess we're lighting a fire here. Our integrity is like sales negotiation table presence. It precedes us.
Yes.
It precedes us. It accompanies us, and it lingers after we leave. Yes. All of that, Patrick. Thank you. So, one of the things that I absolutely loved about this book, and I'm really just curious about this, and this is like out of left field. Any of you guys who have previously been on the show, that like we don't rehearse. So me and Mark didn't rehearse this. So I was going to go back through the book at the end of the book, Mark. You're gonna laugh when you hear this. Like, I'm a 65-year-old child. I am in my heart. And I said, Mark had all these great quotes in this book. I'm gonna go and get all of those and put them on all together. And then I'm gonna put that into something. And you did it as the last chapter of your book. Thank you. It was beautiful.
I'm just trying to serve the customer, right? I mean, I'm just trying to serve the customer. But because again, I've been there. I've read books on that, and so we just went through and we just said, let's just catalog them all and put them in at the end. Now, if we'd been thinking, we probably would have categorized them by topic and so forth. But they're all there, and the whole premise of what's funny is people say, "Oh, I hate these little quips, little quotes, and so forth." But you know what? They stick in our mind. They stick in our mind, and they do shape who we are. And it's what I'm trying to create is, how do we create those little subliminal things? In fact, it's kind of funny, but ever since I wrote the book, I have a copy of the book, Integrity First Selling, sitting right here on my desk. And I intend to keep it there forever. The reason being is this: I've got to always ask myself, am I putting integrity first? Am I putting integrity first? Because there's something very, very interesting. When we sell with integrity, we're playing the long game. We are truly playing the long game. It's not about this month's numbers and so forth. Now, I get it. Hey, I've got to make this month's numbers because, again, bad salespeople have skinny kids. All that. But the premise of this is simply, if we are doing our job out there, we are going to attract the right customers. And what that's going to mean is that we're going to have the right pipeline. And we're not going to find ourselves into this, we're in the last day of the quarter, last day of the month, and we've suddenly got to create all these deals. Because here's what happens when we do things like that. We've seen, Pete, you've seen this. What do? You wind up conditioning the marketplace not to buy until the end of the quarter. And the automotive industry, sadly, has done quite a job on that. You look at department stores. So anybody who goes into a department store and pays full price for something, you really kind of question, because it's if it's not it used to be 20% off, then it's 30% off. Now it's like 65% off, 75% off. Okay, can we just tell ourselves that the retail price originally wasn't the right price to begin with? I mean, again, that's not a way that you create brand equity. That's not a way that you create loyalty. That's not a way that you really go to help them see and achieve what they didn't think was possible. And that's the definition of sales: helping others see and achieve what they did not think was possible.
That is my absolute favorite quote. So this is to everybody. This is to every sales manager. This is to every sales rep. This is to every retail store owner. If all your rep is doing is like taking your order and saying, thank you, I'm glad that he or she has nice manners, that's good. But if they don't help you see a bigger picture, if they don't ask you what your dreams are, what you're trying to accomplish, and they don't give you examples from outside of the trade area that would not be compromising someone's integrity, of things that you can do to help to get to your goals faster, then you've got an order taker on your hands. You don't have a salesperson, because to be a professional salesperson, you have to know the marketplace better than anybody else, and you have to know what's happening and help your store owner get there quicker if he or she wants to get there quicker. And I've asked this question to many salespeople over the last 35 years. And I've been at it for 44, but I'm giving myself that window of where I actually learned my trade, because it doesn't happen in the first year. It doesn't happen in the first 5 years. It takes 7 to 8 years, even if you're going as hard as you can, to know as much as you can. But one of the things that you said that was hilarious just a few minutes ago, Mark, I just want to go back to that real quick, unpack that just a little bit, is the people that should be on this call aren't going to be on it. Everybody that I see, from Gordon Heck to Patrick Tinney to Andy from Southern California, from Brent Batterman and David Grange, all sell with integrity. Every one of them. So none of you need to be listening to this, but you guys are all wanting to a little bit of an edge, right? Sell and sleep, not order taken is the aim. Yes, sell and sleep, helping your dealer get to where, yes, love all this positivity, David Grange says, and we love your positivity, David. So thank you for being here.
Hey, I want to jump in with something that
go ahead.
Order takers, because one of the things that drives me crazy is I'm sick and tired of closing deals. I don't want to close a sale. I want to open a relationship. Now stop and think about what that means. What this means is that I am going to open a relationship to be able to uncover additional opportunities, additional things. I go back and Pete, you made a great comment. The first couple of years, you don't know anything about sales. If people know my sales story, I wrote about it in my book of mine for sales. I got fired from my first 2 sales jobs.
Yeah, but you got what you wanted. You got a free car to drive.
Right. That was the only reason I got into sales. And of course, and as the story goes, the only reason I did that was because I'd gotten so many speeding tickets. I couldn't afford car insurance. So I say I'm in sales only because of the police department. I got fired from those and it was the 3rd sales job where my boss sat me down and said, do you even have a clue what you're doing? Why are you in sales? Well, I didn't really want to admit it was because of the car, but the whole premise was I wasn't having a conversation with customers. You've got to be able to have that conversation with customers to really help them understand and help them open up. Because here's the thing, let's use mattresses. We're not selling a mattress, we're selling sleep, the quality of sleep. And think of the benefits of the quality of sleep. That's absolutely huge. But to understand that, I've got to be able to get the customer to open up a little bit, because I need them to share with me how they feel the benefits of sleep are. Because what do they feel they are? And again, different people are going to have different benefits. Fine. That's absolutely spot on. The mattress is the feature. Okay, this is not a features and benefits show, but the whole thing is I can't get there until you have enough confidence in me. Because really, what's funny is the customer's not going to buy until the customer's confident. Because the last thing they want to do is feel like, they made a bad decision. This wasn't right. I paid too much, whatever it is. But if I can create a level of confidence, I overcome that. And suddenly the customer is right there, ready to activate. And then when I open the relationship, what's interesting? They're going to be far more likely to tell other people. I tell any store owner out there, if your business every year is not growing because of repeat and referrals, then you're not a very good store operator. Something's wrong. with your value proposition and your people. Oh, and one more thing, I got to jump in. I'm sorry, I'm doing all the talking here. When you sell with integrity, you're going to attract different employees. You know, what's interesting is anybody under the age of 30, anybody under the age of 40, really, they really question who they go to work for, because they want to make sure that the company they're going to work for, the business they're going to work for, lines up with their values, lines up with their morals, lines up with who they are. So guess what? When you sell with integrity and you treat customers with that, and you have that as your lifestyle in your business, you're going to be far more likely to attract a higher caliber of talent, because they're going to line up with that same set of values and morals and their view of integrity. So this thing just pays out with a massive ROI if you are willing to embrace it.
Yeah, I have to unpack this referral thing, because without referrals, you're not in business. You have to have referrals, testimonials, and online reviews in today's new world as a store owner. If you don't get those, you're not going to be in business long. One of the most interesting things about referrals is they always buy at a higher rate, so they're easier to close. But the more significant thing is they buy better goods. They usually buy better goods than the person that referred them. And then this last one is bigger than all of it. And it ties right into what Mark said. They're more likely to refer.
Yes.
And so the machine keeps going. And it all starts with integrity. I mean, without integrity, there's no trust. And there are times, and I remember it when I was on the retail floor from 1982 to 1991, when I would just look at the customer and they look at me, and I already know I had the sale. I hadn't even opened my mouth and said, "Welcome to Kronheim's Furniture" or "Welcome to Mr. Mattress." I knew I had the sale. I knew I had it. And you do too. All of you sales pros out there who have sold for more than a few years, you know the minute you've got a sale, and it happens in the first 10 seconds.
Yeah. There's so much to be said for what you, I mean, again, there was that level of integrity that existed in the retail establishment.
Yeah, and you bring it with you wherever you go. You can't help but bring it. You either bring it or you bring your lack of it. And what I love about your book is you designed this book to help people grow. The reason you put all those questions at the end of the chapter, I could just see you going, I want you to get this. I want you to get this. And you know, I mean, you talk about your morning routine. There's so many great questions that, number one, will humble you when you go, wow, I've been selling with integrity for the last 30 years. Yeah. Well, how about the first few years when you first started? And then I think it's really, really good that you can say, thank God I'm not who I used to be. Thank the good Lord in heaven above that I'm not who I used to be, that I had these two separate people, you know, Sales Pete and then Authentic Pete. And now they're the same person. And the reality is it's so much easier. You know, that Sales Pete is like putting an 800-pound, you know, gorilla on your back and trying to carry it around all day. It gets heavy. And so I would say to you, give it up. Just give it up. Be you. That's the one thing you can do better than any other human being can do. Be you. And believe it or not, yes, being you might lose a customer or two here or there, but you're going to attract so many more, so much more strongly. And again, in today's world, referrals, testimonials, online reviews, your reputation in the marketplace is bigger than it's ever been. And when you're embracing a sales process that puts integrity first and foremost above all else. And Mark, you know, you you started lightly touching on it mid book, and then you started to get stronger as the book went on. And you're starting to talk to sales leaders and sales executives and how important it is to lead with integrity, because that's where your salespeople get it from. And I can say this, I followed who was in front of me. When I first got out of school, I followed who was in front of me. And a couple of times, the person wasn't that great. And I'll never forget this as long as I live. I got a call from my father-in-law, and he said, "I'd like to see you." And I knew I was in trouble. I'm going through like everything in my head. And I'm like, well, I just saw him earlier today in the store. So like my sales were good today and everything else is good. So why does my father-in-law want to talk to me? And so everybody that's watching this, that's in the furniture and mattress industry, knows what a TO is. It's a turnover. It means you bring another salesperson in to close it. So I was taught how to turn things over and how to be the TO man, the authority figure that closes it. Well, we had this little lady in there that in the morning and TO'd her back and forth. There were 2 or 3 TOs. It was ridiculous. And my father-in-law was embarrassed, and he let me know it. And this is what he said to me. And Mark, I have never thought about this for 30 some years. I completely forgot it. One of your questions made me go back in time and remember this. Pete, how you sell is as important or more important than what you sell. And you can't look me in the eye and tell me your behavior today was the best Pete Primeau there is. You can't tell me that. Thank God. Thank God for George Cooley.
Yeah.
Great man.
Yeah. That had to cut you. I mean,
hurt bad and never happened again.
But you stop and think about that. There is so much to be said there. And let's talk about this whole leadership role, because you're right. As we kind of get into the book, I talk about it more and more. It's a parent-child relationship. Any of you out there who have got kids, you'll know what I'm talking about. It's amazing how your kids become who you are, which is really creepy. Really, man. Thank goodness my wife was stellar. My kids picked up my wife's attributes and not mine. But right. I mean, it's amazing how salespeople take their cues from their manager. And if you as a sales leader, see, this is why you as a sales leader have to behave with integrity. This means you're not walking around dissing on customers behind their back. You're not dissing on other employees. You're not dissing on this or that, because again, that's going to wind up getting rolled over to customer behavior. And if you stop and think about this, all I have to do is treat one customer poorly and have them leave one poor online review. And that's going to do more damage to me than 5 positive reviews is going to bring me upside. Yeah. We can't, in this transparent marketplace that we operate today with social media and all of these online tools, it is amazing that you cannot allow anybody in your organization or you to exhibit anything but the finest behavior at all times. So this is why you as a manager, you've got to be treating your employee. Now, this doesn't mean you go soft on your people. No, like your father-in-law called you out, No, it doesn't mean, but you have to be consistent, and you do it with respect. You always do it with respect, because again, this is what you're challenging your salespeople to do with their customers. And one of the things that I tell leaders to do is you lead by asking questions. You lead by asking your salespeople questions. Gee, isn't that what we as salespeople are to do with our customers? Lead by asking questions. Wow, there's a novel thought. You just keep that stream of consciousness going all the way through. This isn't rocket science. It's not rocket science. And that's where I come back saying that sales is a lifestyle. This is a flat out lifestyle. And it's on the one hand, it's harder than we make it out to be. And the flip side is it's also easier than we make it out to be. When we are treating our professional and our personal life, you said this back at the beginning, when we're treating our professional life and our personal life the same way. Because I strongly contend, again, if my personal life is out of whack, it's going to show up in my professional life. If my professional life is out of whack, it's going to show up in my personal life. I've seen that in my own life time and time again. And if I can bring the two together, it is amazing at how much better I sleep at night. How many times have we used the word sleep today? Man, this is amazing. Wow.
I think we're paying bonuses for who can say sleep more, you or me. So I love this quote. Loyalty is not created in the contact. It is created in the conduct. Powerful.
Stop and think about what that means. It's in the conduct. Because again, isn't it amazing how our kids, if any of you have got small kids, how they can read us? Oh, they read us like a book. And they can tell we're blowing smoke. And it's the same thing. It's the same thing with customers. They can tell. It's in your conduct. Absolutely in your conduct. And this is why you can't be turn it on and turn it off. You can't be one way on the sales floor and another way in the break room. You really have to be this 24/7. I get it. In the break room, there are going to be some other conversations. I get that. I totally understand that. But I'll tell you what, if you're a radically different person, it's going to fall apart pretty quickly on you. It will.
Well, John F. Lawhon, God rest his soul, wrote a book about selling retail years and years ago before he passed. And he had a whole chapter called Losers in the Lounge. And it's exactly what you think. Stay away from the losers in the lounge. I love this. I highlighted this. The problem is once we start hedging on one sale, we'll start hedging on another one. And before we know it, we have slid into a cesspool of false expectations. That is so powerful, Mark. Thank you. That's
why we've got to have a North Star. That's why you've got to be anchored. You've got to. And this is the challenge, because selling with integrity does not mean you're running around throwing around discounts all over the place. Because like I wrote, once you start discounting once, you're going to discount again and again and again and again. And it is a race to the bottom. And low price is not a sustainable competitive advantage. It just is not. Because somebody's going to come along somewhere and have something a little bit better, a little bit different, and a little bit cheaper. And I've got to realize that the only sustainable competitive advantage I have is not the brands I represent. No, it's me. It's my people. The only sustainable competitive advantage is me. And I got to understand. Have to understand how to leverage that.
Brent Batterman, this is so ironic, Brent, that you are here because you're not here every week, or you're very quiet. But this is what Brent says. I love questions that make us pause and think at a deeper level. Questions are such a powerful tool on the sales floor and in leadership. Sounds like Mark's book is full of great ones. I'm sold. Ordering a copy. That may not be necessary, Brent, because Chris Stone just said Brent is your winner. You're going to get an autographed copy of the book. You can buy a book for a friend who needs it more than you, Brent. But you will get an autographed copy, my friend. I just want to give my audience a little bit of red meat. It ties right into what Brent just said. This is straight out of Mark's book, so I hope you're okay with that, Mark.
Yeah.
Okay. Never talk for more than 20 seconds without asking the customer a question. That is great rule. I love that. Also, ask the customer a follow-up question based on everything they share with you. And sometimes it could be Columbo stuff. Ooh, like body language that says, tell me more, tell me more. Or you can ask short questions like, tell me more. Why? Or do you have an example? I love, do you have an example? Help me understand. That is the further you go with your customer versus your competitor down the street, the more likely you are to win the sale.
So true. Customers are like onions. Oh, there's a weird comparison. Yeah. Go figure. Pete, you're an onion. Yeah, you're an onion. But all we're doing is we're just peeling layers. You got to think of it that we are peeling layers. I mean, with every question we ask, we gain another piece of information. We peel it. Where we fall down is when we don't follow up on what the customer says. If you want to demonstrate a level of trust with the customer and create that ultimate level of trust, ask them a follow-up question on whatever it is that they shared with you. Whatever it is that they shared with you, irregardless, ask them a follow-up question, because it does two things. A, it demonstrates to you that you were actually listening. Two, it actually demonstrates that you care. And three, that piece of information that they share that next piece of information may just be really valuable information, because it's going to get both of you thinking. You can't ask enough questions.
Yeah. And here's Brent Batterman says, thank you, love it. And it's an autographed copy. Yes, it'll say Brent. Scott Vaughn, be the same person on Sunday morning in the church pew. Sunday morning, it's where you should be. Sorry that you were on Friday night.
Amen. Amen. I will give you an amen on that one. Exactly.
I love that, Scott Vaughn. I love that. Patrick Tinney, Mark and Pete, if you become known as a truth teller, more and more people will approach you with difficult conversation. Boy, that's my experience too. And I saw Mark put his hands up, so I want to let Mark kind of elaborate on that.
It's funny. When I first began toying with this idea of writing this book, Integrity, I mentioned it to some people, and they said, "Oh, that's you. And it's like, wait a minute, how? I mean, I had more people tell me, "Oh, that's so spot on this," but they said, "No, Mark, that's the life you exhibit. That's the life you lead." So it is amazing how our reputation is created by our conduct. Remember that little quote that you shared earlier? And this is why it's so imperative that we don't behave one way on Friday night and a different way on Sunday morning. Yeah. And that's difficult for some people. But you know what? Then maybe you need to go find a different profession, because our profession is about helping people. That's 100%. The product we sell is just the medium to allow us to be able to have a conversation with customers.
That is so powerful. I've often had conversations with salespeople that we salespeople who, and everybody on this call sells with integrity. I can vouch for them. Those of us who sell with integrity pay a horrible price by salespeople who don't. And I saw one at market. This salesperson was actually in the boardroom and the boardroom dinner. And towards the end of the talk, he was handling a customer, rudely trying to sell something in an academic format, and was rude. And everybody in those 30 people that were in that room, 35 people that were in that room, knew what that salesperson was up to. And I really just looked at him and I thought in my mind, you're a child. And I was going to say something to the guy, but he knows who he is. If he ever watches this, he'll see it and he'll know that it's him. Listen, we all mess up and we all need grace. And the only reason I didn't say anything to you, brother, was because I needed grace when I was young too. And you're younger. So I'm going to give you grace on this one. But listen, this is one of the most important things and there's a lot of important things that Mark wrote in this book. Authentic salespeople play the long game. They are not chasing a quick win. They are earning trust for long-term business. Even if the sale does not happen today, they know a genuine relationship might open doors later. Another line I like to use is, we do not close a sale, and he's already used it a couple times. Rather, we open a relationship. And that is so true. So when you're in a format that doesn't allow you to be pitching a customer, enjoy the format and play for the long term. I'll tell you, there are so many good things in this book, but the most important thing, and I think where the rubber meets the road, Mark, is this. They listen without being pushy. They tell the truth regardless of how much it may cost them. That is where the rubber hits the road for a salesperson. Are you willing to lose a sale rather than compromise? Yeah. And I'm so proud of the fact that that has been the majority of my career. And I'm also not proud at all early in my career where I just wanted to close sales. I just wanted to make a commission. I just wanted to make my boss happy. And I thought my boss wanted sales. And this is what I want to say to every sales leader, because I own my own sales company and I have salespeople that work for me. I never put pressure on them. I model the behavior that I want. And if they don't come around to that behavior, they're not going to be with me long. And most of my guys have been with me for over 10 years, one over 20. We have to put our human being in front of our sales human being. There never should be two separate ones. There should only be one. And there should never be a hidden agenda. And there really needs to be only one thing at the front of our minds. And that's putting the customer first. And listen, if you're a sales rep watching this and you're selling to a store owner, that's true. And if you're a store owner and you're selling to a retail customer, that's true. When you put the customer first consistently, your wins and your losses are going to come out over time, and you're going to win more than you lose. But that's not the reason. It's not because that business-wise, it's a good thing to do. It's efficient. It's productive. Just be a good human being. Just make sure. And Mark, I'm probably paraphrasing this, but you said this multiple times in your book. Make sure that your customer, no matter what the outcome is in the short term, they come out of it better off than they did before they met you. Yeah. Whatever the outcome, make sure they're better off than they were before. Yeah. Yes, David Grange, you're right. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon or journey. It certainly is. You know what? I'm 65 years old and I'm starting to really hate time because we're coming up at the end of our hour. Gordon, heck, thank you, Mark and Pete, for a power-packed hour, every minute filled with information applicable in business and life. Yeah, I've got another 2 hours of stuff here, guys. Brent Batterman, questions followed by additional questions to gain context. Very important. And I agree with all Mark just said. Thank you, Brent. Mark, was there a question I should have asked you 10 minutes ago that I didn't?
Yeah. Well, you should have asked me how I start my morning, because I truly believe this frames up integrity. I talk about it in my book of mine for sales.
Mark, how do you start your morning?
How do I start my morning? One of the things is you take a moment to reflect on all the goodness that you've got. And I have a notebook. It's right here on the side of my desk here. And every morning I write down 10 things I'm grateful for. 10 things I'm grateful for. And it's amazing and how it reframes who you are. I spend time in quiet. I spend time meditating. I focus on the customers I'm going to be interacting with that day. But what does it do? It changes my whole mindset. And again, I'm thinking all the way through integrity first. When I do that, it's amazing how the day is that much better.
That's awesome. That was solid gold. My friend, here we are. When is he coming back on? I know, Andy. It's like I didn't even get to like 1/3 of what I wanted to. Well done, gents. I learned, Patrick Tinney. You know what, Patrick? I have to say this, and I know we're over time, Chris, so indulge me just for a second. It is humorous and sad at the same time that the most accomplished people are also the best students. They never stop learning.
Yeah.
A master is only a master because he or she never stops learning. So my friends who joined us, never stop learning. Pete and Mark, great reminders and suggestions to consider. Brad Carroll. Brad, thank you for being here. How are things in Somerset, Kentucky? Becky, Pete, how have you been doing this for 44 years when you are only 50? I love you. I'm 65. That's how.
No, it was child labor laws.
Thank you, Becky. You are going to get a free book too, Becky, because that is the best comment of the day. Mark, how does somebody that watched this get a hold of you?
Yes. Well, the best way, you can go out to my website, thesaleshunter.com. Depending on when you're listening to this, if you're catching this right now, the Kindle is available. The book will be coming out February 17th, both the hardback and the paperback. And it really pleased that the book has been already recording sales all over the world. So clearly there's something happening there. Yeah. So there you go. You've got the Kindle version. And like I said, the paperback and the hardback, for those of you listening to this a couple of weeks from now, February 17th. So, and it's on Amazon, best place to get it. And I'm looking forward to helping people.
Mark, thank you so much. Thanks for all you do. I had a blast today, and I know you are way too busy to be giving me an hour of your time, but I appreciate you.
Hey, thank you so much. It's
Thanks.
a pleasure.
Everybody go forward and sell 1 million this week and have fun doing it. Take care.